The Zambian national anthem there, a signal indeed that we should be having the President Edgar Lungu addressing the nation in just a short while. So don't go away, stay with us. We will be going to State House in just a little while where
television reinvented.
That the Lord has made, we will rejoice and be glad in it. Nditu tizapembeza, tizatamanda, tizamutokoza, because He alone deserves all the glory and all the praise. Today is extra special because we celebrate greatness. We celebrate the Queen of Hearts, a woman of God. I mean, we've come to love her, and we are here to just praise God and celebrate for the day that He filled her lungs with air. My name is Mutaleka Paso, and we're here to worship God in praise and worship, led by the one and only Christine. Now, wherever you are, yes, wherever you are, I don't know where you're watching us from, come on. Pop those hearts, those emojis, show some love, share this day. Let everybody know, your family, your friends, let them know what time it is. Let them know what day it is, because this is a very special, special day. Her life represents love for those who know her, joy, purpose, passion, and true worship. Hallelujah. So we're here to raise that praise, raise that altar of praise. It's more than just a birthday party. It's beyond that. Today we're here to encounter God. We're here to experience His presence, His life-changing presence. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I even get to that special moment, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate our sponsors. We're here courtesy of Prism Africa TV. And we also want to appreciate our sponsors, Stage Gear Event Technicians, for making this ambience and creating this beauty behind me. Now, I don't know if you're ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? It's about that time. Hey, Jesus. I hope you feel Him, because we're feeling Him right here. Open your hearts, because you're about to experience the presence of God, the life-changing presence of God. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready and make welcome the one, the only, the birthday girl. Hey, the one God has blessed us with. Jesus. Hallelujah. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Christine. Thank you.
Nikauka ingale Yesu sina yekachabe yamene nitana ingale Yesu sina yekachabe osati ina basi wampata osanga ingale Yesu ekachape
countrymen, women, and the youth, 6 years ago, you entrusted me to lead you on a journey to build our country, Zambia, after the death of His Excellency President Michael Chilufya-Sata. This show of trust that I lead you in January 2015 was unexpected, and I accepted it with humility and gratitude. In 2016, you, the Zambian people, decided yet again to give me a fresh mandate for another 5 years. I received that show of support with great honor. I want to thank you, the Zambian people, for giving me a great opportunity to be your president. I will forever cherish and appreciate that authority you vested in me. Countrymen, women, and the youth, all I ever wanted to do was to serve my country to the best of my abilities. And together with you, we indeed scored in many areas. Of course, there were challenges on the way, but what I appreciated most was your support during the tough times. Countrymen, women, and the youth, we held our general elections on Thursday, 12th August 2021, and the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, have released the final election results. Based on the revelation of the ECZ final results, I will comply with the constitutional provisions for a peaceful transition of power. I would therefore like to congratulate my brother, the President-elect, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, for becoming the 7th Republican President. Countrymen, women, and the youth, let me also congratulate all those who participated in this general election and won at various levels. To those who did not, there is always another time. Lastly, I would like to thank all those who voted for my party, the Patriotic Front, and myself. To you, I say your vote was not in vain. Please continue supporting us. Countrymen, women, and the youth, I wish you well, and may the good Lord bless our republic, Zambia. I thank you.
An address to the nation by the 60th President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Lungu, there, and resoundingly praising the incoming President Hakainde Hichilema and conceding defeat in the spirit of one Zambia, one nation, and says that he follows the constitution provisions, and he has since congratulated the President-elect Hakainde Hichilema and thanked all the people that participated in the elections on the 12th of August 2021, further stating that he would like to thank every Zambian that voted for his political party, the Patriotic Front. Now, he goes down into the history books of Zambia as a president that was commonly referred to as the president for all Zambians, and also his agenda was anchored on infrastructure development as he took over from President Michael Sata, the 5th President of the Republic of Zambia, and quite a lot of talking points that we can have in as far as his governing was concerned, and these are discussions that will probably continue. But at the center, infrastructure development was pretty much pronounced, and indeed people of Zambia do attest to that effect. The President-elect is yet to come through on your public service broadcaster to speak to the nation as well, so stay with us. But as we are still building up to that one, I've got in studio Rose Sakala and Dr. Beani, each one of them in their respective capacity. International Relations Chairperson Rose Sakala, United Party for National Development. Dr. Cholwe Beani is Chairperson for Education. Let me just pick you, since you are the people that I have from the United Party for National Development, the party that President Lungu has congratulated. I have no choice but to ask you to react. I know we would have loved to have maybe the Elections Chairperson, Mr. Garin Kombo, or maybe Cornelius Mwetra, the spokesperson, to do that, but you are here already. I would like to take your message from what the President has just mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's only fitting given the history of this country, that there is always a smooth transition between governments. There has never been a time when transitions have been marred in confusion or refusal to cede power. So I think it's commendable, but it's not unusual. It is consistent with the Zambian democratic traditions and principles. And on that note, he has lived, Edgar Lungu has lived to the principles and the democratic tenets of this country in that regard. So it's a fitting and welcome concession to a new leadership. It's therefore important that every new leadership comes forth with new ideas, new programs. We need to move this country forward, build on what has been found, build what has been destroyed, and restore this country to sanity and prosperity for our people, for our youth who needs jobs, who need skills, who need employment. We need to restore this country, and we are equal to the task.
Ross?
Yes, I think that's commendable, and yes, that has been our tradition, because he's sending a message to the whole nation and to his supporters as well, because he's the leader of the PF, and they have seen how he has conceded, they have seen the position that he's taken. So moving forward, that message will influence the manner in which those that followed him, those that supported him, voted for him, will unite, will work with the current government going. So I think that's commendable. That's how it should be.
What does this message tell the Zambian people?
It talks about peace, stability, and development. The elections are now gone. They are past. There's always a loser and a winner. And the sooner the loser concedes that they have lost, the better, because then people start looking forward. What agenda do we have in front of us? How can we work with the person or the group of people that has been elected to lead us in this nation? So yes, it's more about peace and development and just moving forward.
Lessons
I
for the
think in
future,
addition to that same question, it's important to understand that in 2001, UPND election was stolen. The people who voted for UPND in 2001 are the same people who voted for Manawasa, are the same people who voted for Pia Banda, are the same people who voted for PF in 2011. These are the same people who, facing disappointment with the performance of the PF government, have come back to vote for us.
essentially we are one people. That's why we call one Zambia, one nation. The same people make decisions on who to vote for. So it's not like there's a new breed of people that has come to vote specifically for UPND. This victory is a victory not for UPND itself, but it's a victory for Zambians. They stood up and came to vote in large numbers. They stood up to defend their vote. That must be commendable. So this is a victory for our people, and our UPND is merely a vehicle to ensure that the aspirations, the interests, the goals of the average citizen is realized through prudent economic transformation agenda.
You speak as though you were here when we had the MMD president seated right where you are seated, Doc. And he did mention to the fact that indeed there is no need to destroy anything that's been built already. It's simply to build on it and tighten up a few loose ends here and there. And he referred us to what the president, founding father of the nation, did build up on, especially when it came to 1991, when he lost to Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba, willingly handing over the mantle, and also the MMD handed over to the PF, and here we are today speaking the PF handing over to the United Party for National Development. That surely should be something that the international community looks at Zambia with favor today, and can only imagine the media internationally capturing this moment.
Yes, indeed. But I also think that we need to think broadly. We should not overpart ourselves. This should be accepted as a normal political and democratic process, not anything unusual. Peaceful transitions, they should become normal. However, we are mindful of the fact that it's not normal in some countries, and therefore we should pat ourselves at the back within the same vein. But we need to ensure that what we've institutionalized, what we've established, these transitional processes, democratic credentials and processes, we must consolidate and grow. We know that democracy in this country had its own limitations. You saw the abuse of the Public Order Act. You saw the abuse of the breakdown of the rule of law. You know that in this station, many of our people could not come here to speak, coming from the opposition. So, but we don't want to revenge and do the same thing. We are beyond that. We need to build on what we found and build a better Zambia for all. As I said, the people who voted for us are the same people who voted for PF in 2011 and in the previous elections. Never mind the controversies of the last two elections, which we believe were stolen from us. But the point is to build Zambia. And our people have shown the way through the unity of purpose that they exhibited in the elections, in the protection of the vote, and in ushering in a new government peacefully, in the manner that just happened.
Rose,
this is good for Zambia.
Zambians should be able to celebrate such moves, because, I mean, where somebody just outrightly concedes defeat like that, Doc has just mentioned that in some countries it's quite unusual. But for Zambia, it's becoming a norm. And a norm it should be, because those are constitutional provisions, as the president has stated in there. This should call for celebrations by Zambians in a way, to be proud of such transitions.
It's not unusual, like my colleague has said. So it should not be taken like it's something very special that has happened. Because if we make it very special, it's like it's a gift he has given to us, he has done us a favor. It's not a favor. That's how it should be. And at this moment also, I would like to commend the international observers who came here, because I think they too supported this process. The Commonwealth, the African Union, the EU. So everybody played a part. I think we have to be a bit realistic. We shouldn't hide anything here. We know there was almost a bit of resistance, but I think everybody came on board. Some of our former leaders, they made sure that this thing happened. So we should not really hide too much of what almost happened. We saw it in the media, we read in the media, but this is as it should be. Once you have lost, you must concede defeat. If you don't do so, the next thing, there will be problems. You are actually brewing conflict among your own people. People will be divided.
I want you to groom the future leaders who could be watching this transition period and are watching us right now on television. closely and listening to what you are saying, what should they speak to them as they rise up to take the mantle of leadership of Zambia tomorrow?
Going forward, Zambia has got so many challenges. The past is gone. There's a lot that has happened in the past that needs to be addressed. Huge challenges, socio-economic challenges, which actually arose mainly during the past 10 years. Our socio-economic fabric has been devastated. So we need to come together now and look forward. How do we rebuild Zambia? To start with, how do we even re-establish respect for the rule of law? How do we re-establish respect for human rights? How do we begin to fight corruption? Because if you don't fight all those things, whatever other efforts you make to improve or to develop our country, it will be exercises in futility. So going forward, really, we need now to come together, support the vision that the new president has for a prosperous Zambia, for a united Zambia. So this is the moment Zambians should all come together. And we've already seen it. We've seen our youth from all over the country. They are calling us, they are calling him, they are calling me. Even when we were seated outside there, they are all celebrating. So there's no question about it. It's like a relief. Some of them are saying, what a relief. They feel like they've been in chains. They were unable to express themselves, the reality that they felt. You know, we went to a situation where our own people were getting 100 kwacha to keep quiet. 100 kwacha which will keep them to buy bread for 2, 3, 4 days. But now they're coming out with a relief that they know now.
I'll take you once again, Rose, to what Nevas Mumba of the MMD did mention while seated there just a few hours ago. He mentioned, when I asked him about what should President Lungu feel, should he feel disappointed? He mentioned and told the nation to say that, well, he shouldn't be disappointed, knowing the fact that when he won, he had disappointed somebody. So each person that comes into power, somebody gets disappointed. Doc, there are some people that are amidst the UPND members, sympathizers, voters celebrating. There are some people who are agonizing and trying to do with the fact that they have lost. What are you telling them?
That is a natural process of political transitions in a democracy. What UPND intends to do is to deepen that democratic space, democratic institutionalization, so that we begin to expect these things with as less pain as possible. The UPND agenda is to ensure that the pain that our colleagues have gone through eventually becomes healed. We build a new Zambia and move forward. Okay, because that's what has to be done. We embrace we want to, first of all, this country was divided. We want to reunify it. We want to bring the motto of one Zambia, one nation really together. I'll tell you one honest truth. I was finding myself very difficult to sing the national anthem because I never felt free, proud and free in this country. Now I feel proud and free, and there are many people who feel so. So whatever the pain of a transition is, in the end, it is our responsibility to unite all Zambians, to develop a trajectory of economic transformation, political, democratic dispensation that is acceptable to all, but also good for everyone. And therefore, peace, tranquility, and prosperity are fundamental ingredients in building a country. And that UPND is committed to do.
I asked this question to Rose here about raising future leaders that can have traits such as this going forward so that we can maintain the status quo. How do we do that, Doc?
How do we do that? We need, I think I'd like to echo what the previous speaker here actually made when he said holding public office needs certain levels of accountability. But one of the biggest problems, to add my own words in addition to what he said, is that this politics in this country, and can't speak for other countries, is the only avenue where there are no qualifications. Job seekers with no qualifications, with no education, enter the political game, fundamentally because we have no standards. So in preparing young leadership, in preparing the future of this country, we need to build standards for holding public office. What is required of you to hold public office. Should you come from Katondo Street buying foreign currency and selling and become a president or minister of defense? Those are the questions we must be asking, but also answering that you need leadership that is expected, that has the qualifications.
Should there be an academy to raise such ones?
Many avenues, mentorship, a training program. I mean, for instance, there was a leadership training, something under UNIP. I think NIPA could bring back, and a number of other institutions can bring back, so that we have a value system in public leadership, as opposed to job seeking. You go into public service to serve the people after you've played a role in society, not to go and enrich yourself. That is why the anti-corruption drive must be robust in ensuring that public resources are protected and not plundered, so that you can deliver for the good of the people. So once there is an understanding that you can't steal public money you cannot steal money without consequence, you cannot abuse your office without consequence, which the UPND will ensure and insist. We want to move the anti-corruption fight, for instance, out of the hands of politicians. We want to institutionalize it in the Anti-Corruption Commission and other investigative wings. So that when you ask me, Sam, next time that how is the fight against corruption, I'll tell you, well, I think the best answer will come from the Anti-Corruption Commission. So that we are linked. We must focus on delivering goods and services to our people. And those fighting corruption, fight it as part of the institutions of governance.
All right.
So that's very important.
Good. Here comes to an end an era of leadership that was focused indeed on developing Zambia infrastructure sector at the center of everything. And remember, the 7th National Development Plan, 7NDP, they're speaking to the fact that don't leave anyone behind, and that is one thing that will go down with the memory and in memory of 6th President of the Republic of Zambia, Edgar Lungu, and also President for all nations is another phrase that will certainly go there. Now, one peculiar thing about the incoming president and the outgoing is that each one of them had a female vice president. And so Inonge Mutukwa Wina was vice president of the Republic of Zambia, running mate to Edgar Lungu 2016 general election, and as government does a transition, that particular crop of leadership steps down, and incoming also leadership has got a male and female president-elect Hakainde Hichilema and the vice president Mutale Nalumango, who I know for once was head teacher or headmaster, if you would like, at Ngwerere Basic School then in Ngwerere, in Garden Compound of Lusaka, and used to trek to Garden Compound when she was actually a head teacher at that particular school. And so those are the dynamics, and that's the similarity. Each one of them has a female vice president. That, Rose, should encourage the female folk to participate in leadership.
Yes, it's very encouraging. We are happy that we have a female vice president. But it's not only that, because it's not every woman who should be picked for the sake of being a woman. But we have a vice president who qualifies to be a running mate, to be a vice president rather. She has proved to have the quality, the capacity. She has proved to be committed to the cause, to the vision of the party. So it's based on that basically that almost everybody was hoping that the president of the party actually will appoint her as a running mate and as a vice president for the republic. So we are happy. She has got a track record. She embraces the values of democracy. She has proved that in her personal life, as an individual, in a private life. She has proved that in her career as an educationist, as a teacher, and she has proved that in politics. So we are very excited to have her as a vice president.
You can add, Doc.
Yeah, I think this is a testimony to the growing trend to create gender balance in politics. It's equity.
Not that women are being adopted because men have realized if you don't run with a woman, you will not be accepted.
Whatever the reasons are, the different parties will have different reasons for adopting a woman, right? Or for having a running mate who is a female. For us, regardless of what PF, MMD, and elsewhere have done, we have a commitment to gender equity. And therefore, women play an important part in our struggle. They are the ones who defended the vote. They are the ones who fed our children. They are the ones who turned out to vote. They're an important ingredient. They shouldn't just be footnotes in politics as it has been before. Look, I've come with a woman as well, demonstrating effectively that we are partners in development. And UPND is committed to gender equity. But it's important to understand that part of the difficulties and the challenges of gender parity or equity is that we come from a legacy of male domination. And therefore many women of quality, because of the politics of insults, she's a hule because she stands up to join politics, it discourages professional women. And you even find that many professional men also tend to be discouraged from joining politics. The UPND agenda is to level the playing field so that youth, women, men of quality can join the political game. We can have the best men and women to run this country, not chancers who trip and fall into office either by design or by accident, right? So we need to prepare. The question you raised, preparation of generational preparation. We need to prepare our people for generational transitions by building quality leadership among the youth, among the women.
Will the education sector that you are chair for address that?
And precisely, we can address that. I'll give a very simple example. Gender parity has been achieved at grade 1 entrance, let's say lower primary school, all right? But that gender parity collapses as you go to higher grades. There are many factors. I'm not here to discuss those factors. The issue here is to address those factors that make the girl child to drop out of school. But it's important to understand that also many male children also drop out of school. The proportion is higher for the girl child than the male child. So let's address some factors are common to both genders, but some are specific to girl child conditions. Our party must will address those issues so that parity grows bottom up, so that even in all arenas of governance, we should have a pretty decent proportional representative system across the board.
Great.
But it's not just about women, about the disabled, the handicapped, the people who are differently abled, and all those who are particular people living with disabilities, and all those that come to smaller ethnic groups that have no space in politics. We must address those, and UPND is committed to addressing that matter.
Good to hear that. Just in case you're joining us here on ZNBC TV1, your public service broadcaster, you could have missed the address by the President Edgar Lungu outgoing. As he indicated to the nation, he concedes defeat, congratulates the incoming President Hakainde Hichilema, and he's grateful to the Zambians for the opportunity you gave him to be president of Zambia for about 6 years or so. And also he says he's thankful to everyone that participated in the just ended elections on the 12th of August 2021, and he's wishing the incoming president, the incoming government, all the best as they go about changing and implementing the ideas that they do have for the love of Mother Zambia. He did indicate that he goes down into the history of political Zambians, influential Zambians, as a president for all Zambians, and one focused on infrastructure development with the motto, leaving no one behind, as constructed and coined in the 7th National Development Plan. The incoming president has also something that we are already relating him to, and the focus for him is economic recovery and bringing all the systems into place to make sure that Zambia stands out well in terms of its economic prospects. The agriculture sector is also his passion, because he himself is a big farmer, and as we saw in his rise to what he is today, the documentary there highlights him to be one of the influential farmers that the country has ever had, and also participated in various corporate organizations. Economics is at the center of his case, but with the people such as the ones we have in studio on his disposal, certainly we know that we are headed for victory, are we? Is that a yes or no?
Certainly, certainly we are. We certainly are.
Great. Tease somebody out there who could be wondering as to how you will get started with both the young and the old together. Time to chit chat you have?
The young, if you are talking within the party, that has already started.
Okay.
Yes, because when the party comes to power, it doesn't mean that the party dissolves itself, because all the policies and all the manifestos and everything is done from the party level. So this will be just a continuation. So for us, this is a journey that has been ongoing, and it's a journey that we intend to continue pursuing, and it's a journey that we are committed to. And yes, it's a journey for everybody. The young, we are very inclusive, as he mentioned, inclusive of women, the blind, or the differently talented. We are inclusive of everybody in the provinces, coming from different ethnicities, all those. That's why we're talking about a united and prosperous Zambia. We mean we are very inclusive. So the journey has started for us.
Dr. Beani, a look at the education sector comes with quite many facets, because one of the many faces of education now is the shift from a one-on-one, for example, to that which talks about virtual technology and things like that. All right, right now the president-elect is ready at New Kasama at his residence. Let's go there.
To respect the media and address them properly, but he apologized. And he was speaking while what he was complaining about was the incident that was reported in Mazabuka constituency, where results were miscalculated and wrongly announced, with the reduction in the number of votes for the UPND presidential candidate. So it was him, running mate of the EFF, complaining on behalf of the UPND until the UPND's Garin Combo came and spoke. So it was quite a moment, interesting moment.
Was there more as well of other political party players siding as well with Garin Combo when he did approach the podium?
Well, yes, but we understand that the president-elect, President Hakainde Hichilema, is now going to be addressing the nation from his residence, and that's where we're crossing to right now.
I am your moderator today. My name is Tabo Kawana. I'm the Alliance Media Director, and I am not alone. I'll be assisted by my co-moderator, the Choma Central Member of Parliament and UPND Party spokesperson, Honorable Cornelius Mwitwa. At this point in time, I would like to invite all of us to remain upstanding as we sing the national anthem. The national anthem, please. Stand and sing of
Zambia, proud and free, land of work and joy, unity, victors in the struggle for the right. We won freedom's fight, oh, one strong and free. On motherland, fashioned in the grace that goes good and like unto a neighbor, clean as one, brothers under the sun, oh, one strong and free, and one nation is our cry, dignity and peace the Zambia sky, like a noble eagle in his flight. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one strong and free. Praise be to praise be, praise be, praise be, praise our great Zambia. free men we stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh, one strong and free.
Thank you very much. Although we all need to learn the national anthem. At this point in time, allow me to call upon Pastor Kangwa to come and give us an opening prayer. Pastor Kangwa.
We pray. Our Lord and our God, we thank you for the peace over this land. We thank you, Lord, for answering the people's cry. We thank
President. Everybody else to take their seat. My job this morning is very simple, or it's afternoon. It has been a long, long wait to this place. Some of us have even lost track of time. My job is very simple this morning. A tough and long journey has come to an end, and a more difficult one is beginning today. Therefore, I want to take this opportunity to recognize in our midst the presence of the incoming President of the Republic of Zambia, President-elect Hakainde Hichilema. Flanked by the former running mate, who is now Vice President-elect Madam Mutale Nalomango. We also have in our presence the honor of having the former President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Guy Scott. He was the chief advisor in this campaign to the President-elect, President Hakainde Hichilema. We also do have the honor of having all the alliance partner presidents, and I will highlight their names because they are all the same, they are all presidents, but in their midst there is the alliance chairperson, Honorable Charles Milupi. Of course, Mr. Akafumba, the NDC leader. And on his right, we do have Dr. Ernest Mwansa, and next to him is Mr. Simuyemba and Dr. Shimunza. And of course, to the far right is Honorable Felix Mutati. And behind there, of course, is the Secretary General of the MDC, Honorable Mulusa. Is not a president. And we also do have in our presence, I think, the presence of Mr. Msoni and Mr. Chikuse. If I haven't recognized any one of you colleagues present, I apologize. Here we are, a long journey coming to where we are. This is a historic moment that millions of Zambians have been waiting for, as evidenced by the long queues that characterized this particular election and the resounding victory. The expectations of the people are high. The nation is anticipating to hear the voice of the next president of the Republic of Zambia. President Hakainde Hichilema, here is the nation listening. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just to start by recognizing our colleagues in the leadership of our movement, to recognize, I shall repeat, to recognize our leaders of the movement, the UPND Alliance, I shall repeat that, and I hope we can be orderly for just a few minutes. Get done with the business of now. I was just recognizing the leadership of our movement, the UPND Alliance, all the constituent parties that are represented in the alliance, of course, respective members, constituent members of those component parties. Very important for us to recognize the presence of Dr. Guy Scott, who served as our president at some time. Thank you for being here, Dr. Scott. We need, and I believe we should recognize all of you that are here, but truly to recognize the media, local media that have walked with us through this difficult journey. The international media that have been available when the local media could not open their mouths, lest they got arrested. The international media was there. The global village media was there. Thank you for that. And all colleagues that are here, colleagues that are following this short address through various platforms. Thank you for being with us, joining us in the next few minutes. My fellow citizens, citizens of Zambia, it is with great honor, humility, gratitude that I stand before you today to say change is here. The voters of Zambia, and through them, the people of Zambia have prevailed. I think that's very important, that the voters decided who should lead them for the next 5 years, and not those who count votes. Very important for democracy. Zambia, therefore, has prevailed. This victory does not belong to Echech, to Bali. This victory belongs to the men and women of Zambia, especially the youth. Especially the youth. This was your election. You started by registering in large numbers under very, very restrictive and difficult conditions. You were in the queues to register as voters. I think the signal was sent that time that the youth of Zambia, who are in the majority, had taken a position for the 2021 elections. I took note of that. We took note of that. I think some people did not take note of that. The queues were long to register as voters. The queues were long to vote for change. And you did vote for change. We thank you for that. Truly, it's befitting to say this was your election. It was your election evidenced by the numbers that turned out to vote, large numbers, the energy and passion that was exhibited by this young population. This population that owns this country, by all probability, they are likely to live longer than others in this country. So they have a higher stake to what happens to their country. Indeed, you send a clear message, a resounding message that has gone all around the world. You've stated your intentions. We have heard you. We have heard you. Although this message you've passed on to HH, you've passed on to the running mate and soon to be vice president, not elect, but in situ, under UPND alliance. Indeed, the people of Zambia, those that are card-carrying members of our component parties, are definitely fewer than the ordinary citizens that voted for us. Look at the numbers. So, it is clear that it's the people of Zambia who have given us such a huge resounding mandate to form government and to deliver on the promise of change. It is in no doubt what the instruction is to all of us that have been just elected into office at such a very, very difficult time. We understand what you've done. We understand what you want us to do. We comprehend that. We are under no illusion. We know what you want. And we want to thank you at this stage for your support. And we pray that we will be worth of your trust. We will be worth of your confidence that you have demonstrated and placed on our shoulders to deliver. To deliver, to answer your cries for change. Fellow citizens, it is indeed a new day in Zambia. It's a new beginning for all of us. Sure. Please take care of them. Let's continue with the business. Please take care of them. With the election behind us, let us come together as Zambians, as a family. And that's what we are. Once again, we have an opportunity to sing the old song, to return to what we knew when some of us were growing up. One Zambia, one nation. And this to us is not a simple matter. It's not a phraseology. It's not a matter of playing with words. This we should translate in everything we do, in all the things that we work on to truly walk this phraseology of one Zambia, one nation. It is easy to talk. It's easy to say things. But we want to demonstrate that we will walk the talk. And you will see that very soon, starting with the cabinet. The cabinet will represent this country. You will see that, and you will make your own judgment. And will send a signal that that phraseology, we will leave it just a few days from now. Start marking the script of what we've been saying in terms of reuniting this country. And I can assure you in advance, we will get a high mark for it, even from critics. To those, thank you, to those who voted for other candidates, because this is a democracy, this is competition, this is not war, this is not extermination of others, this is a competition to serve. And we want to recognize the fact that others voted for other candidates. And we say to all of you who voted for other candidates, we extend our hand, a hand of friendship, our respect for having decided to vote for alternative candidates. It doesn't hurt us, it just reinforces the importance of democracy, its value, the choices that people must continue to have. And no one should take away citizens' choices. Choices of leadership, choice on what they want to be in their country. The opportunities must be available for all to make their decisions. And it should hurt nobody. There should not be any cause for jail sentences for people to express their views in terms of who they want to lead them and how they want to live their lives. As long as they do that within the laws, within common decency, that should be promoted. And we want to thank you, such voters, and record our respect for you. Please get to know that. Though today you may be disappointed that your candidates did not win, we wish to embrace you as your brothers, as your servants, because that's what we truly are. Those of us who seek public office must get it and get it straight that we are not masters of the people. We are servants of the people. I think it's very important. On that score, I wish to confirm that I and our team, we will be, for me, president, and for others, servants for all of our citizens across the 10 provinces of Zambia. It does not matter how you look by color. It won't matter how you look by height, by your features. It won't matter. Under this administration, it will not matter who your mother, who your father is, because you never made that decision as to who will be your mother and your father. It is a decision beyond your control. But you will be an equal citizen of this beloved country called Zambia. Mark our words, get your script and your pencil aside and keep marking as we serve you in the months, in the years to come. And after 5 years, take your tour and see how we have walked the talk. I think we will pass with flying colors. For those that voted for us, and for those that did not, you will be treated equally. Shall I repeat that? For emphasis. And you know what I mean. When I say that, you know what I mean. For those that voted for us, and those that did not vote for us, you will be treated equally, equitably, fairly. That's important to us. That's important to us. We will run this country without preference for any group over another. Absolutely no preference at all. We will govern without selectivism. We will serve knowing that all citizens to us are identical twins in the way we see you, in the way we serve you. It will not matter what your name is, your surname is, for you to rise in the civil service, to be permanent secretary, to be secretary to the cabinet. Your surname won't matter. What will matter? What will matter? Two things. One, you are a citizen of Zambia. Two, that you are competent for the job at hand. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. And feel safe that no one will retire in national interest, yet is under the guise of personal interest. Nothing of that sort will happen ever again. Not under our administration. And I send a signal to all my colleagues that will serve in cabinet and in other portfolios that you're not coming into cabinet to marginalize citizens, to exclude citizens. You are coming into cabinet to be a tool for inclusion, to be a tool for unity, to be a tool for creating opportunities for all our people. Simple, straight, isn't it? It's as simple as that. That confirms the values of inclusivity, equality, recognizing that we need to promote the concept of unity in diversity. 72 ethnic groups, all of them gifts from God. Sometimes minor variations in the culture, in the upbringing. We will not focus on the differences. We will focus on the things that should unite us as a people. Big difference, isn't it? Big difference from what we've been seeing over the years. Sometimes colleagues fear to say things the way they see them, because they say things that they don't believe in. We harbor no such fears. We say things because we believe in them. You have heard? We say things because we believe in them. We're consistent because we believe in certain things, in those things that should better your lives. So there must be no secret around those issues, because then we'll be able to judge our behavior, our performance going forward. Shall I say that now is the time to move forward? Yes. Beyond the partisanship of the election. The election period to some people invokes anger, and to some people they say things that should never be said about another human being. I think you know what I'm talking about. Yes. You understand people who sang the song of ethnic hatred throughout their campaign, but yet in their hometown they lost to us, who they demonized. Now is the time. Now is the time to forgive such people. For they did not know what they were doing. Now is the time for us to show them the better side of life and perception of other humans. I guess if they are normal, they will learn a lesson going forward. That divisiveness will get you punished by the voters. And I'm proud of the voters of Zambia across the country. I'm very proud of you voters representing the 18 million plus Zambians. You have said no to ethnic divide. Look at the results. Look at where our votes are coming from. Look at these millions of votes. They've been delivered by all the 10 provinces of Zambia. That is beautiful, isn't it? That is lovely, isn't it? Against an orchestrated hate language, hate messages promoted by those who had the opportunity to rein in on such people but did not. It only tells you a message that they actually sent them out to say those things against fellow citizens. That should come to an end. UPND Alliance members, you are not about to replace those individuals with yourselves. Then you are no different from those individuals. I hope I'm clear about it. Let us put the past behind us. For it is what we do now in the present that will define our future. Completely. At this stage, I seek your attention, added attention to more than what you've granted me already. I want to spend a minute or so to talk about violence, lawlessness. Let me be clear. We are categorically clear about this. We are victims of violence. We are victims of demonization, mudslinging. For years, you all know that. We are victims of retribution. We are not about to take public office, replace those that have been very violent against our people, and only to start a new wave of violence. We're not about to be that. Absolutely not. I have heard, I have seen on social media, some people out there damaging property, attacking citizens. I didn't say some citizens, I said citizens. I'm aware that some of those citizens who are being attacked were the violent ones against us. But I say it to you, I put it to you, that if you want to show that you occupy a higher moral ground, even when you know who attacked you before, under this brutal regime which is exiting, if you want to show that you're different from them, do not attack them. Do not damage property, someone's property. In the way we calculate national assets, it includes individual assets. So those are national assets in terms of property. None of you, I repeat, none of you should damage anyone else's property. Even when you know the owner abused you. Because if you do that, you are no different from those people. I want to believe we are different from those people. And that's why Zambians have given us this huge mandate to correct those wrongs. Please, do not cause violence out there. Please do not damage anyone's property. Public property, private property. If you damage a shopping center, a shop, because you know the owner, and the owner offended you, you are taking away someone's job. Tomorrow they will not be able to work in that shop. But in our manifesto, we are talking about creating jobs. So you are negating the very reason that Zambians have voted for us. That's not who HH is. Follow my example. Follow our example. Demonized, arrested 15 times. We are not going into office to arrest those who arrested us, because then we are no different from them. Na mikupo bana wa Yesu. Na milomba. Come out of the streets. Come out of the streets. If you have bad intentions, if you want to harm somebody, if you want to damage someone's property, come out of the streets. I know you may be angry. I know you were tear gassed over the last 7 years. I know you were arrested. I'm one of you, but I'm not bitter. Follow my example. Follow my example. Show magnanimity. You should celebrate. Indeed. There's cause for celebration. New dawn. Freedoms. Rule of law. Anti-corruption. Opportunity for education. For all. Opportunity for a job. Opportunity to do business. I would like to see many young people become businessmen at an age earlier than when I became a business person myself, at 26. I want to see people at 21 becoming business people, and we shall support you. But that's not connected to being violent. We want to see magnanimity. We want to see a new way of treating the violent ones. And I want to assure you, a few days from now, there will be no bus stop where you fear to go to. I can assure you, there is no taxi rank that will be a no-go area for you. You can wear your PF t-shirt, you can wear your any other party t-shirt, including UPND. The bus stops, the markets, public places will be available for you. No one will touch you. No one will take away your rights, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, because of violence, because of any other vices of that nature. But the UPND and its alliance partners lead by example. Come out of the streets if your intent is to damage somebody. You have heard me. But go out and celebrate. Sing. Hoot your car horns. Greet somebody out there. Go and greet the one who you know, your neighbor, was attacking you. Go and tell them that there's a new dawn. There's peace. There's stability coming. Don't end there. Go and tell them that you too will be looked after by the UPND and its alliance government. Is that not a powerful message? Love conquers hate. To our competitors, we thank you for your participation in these elections. We are grateful for your graciousness. A number of the 16, amongst the 16 or so presidential candidates, a greater number of them have formally conceded defeat. They have congratulated us for winning this election, which we have won, which has been delivered to us by the people of Zambia. And this win is for you as well. Believe us, you will see that in the months ahead. You will see that in the months ahead. This acknowledgement of our victory to serve, not to be served by the people, is humbling. And And a few minutes ago, this list of gracious competitors in the presidential race have added on another colleague who was slow. I'm sure he had his own reasons. President Edgar Lungu. I want to thank you, sir, for your message, for conceding defeat, and for indicating that you will support a smooth transition, I don't want to call it power, of servant leadership. I think it's the barest minimum. Someone who occupies public office, as you exit, you facilitate the new entrants to continue serving the country and its people where you left it. It's the barest minimum. And I want to assure the people of Zambia in advance, when our time to leave comes, we will graciously leave. We will support the incoming team then. But for you to be an incoming team, you better work hard, because we are going to raise the standards of that office. I encourage you to work harder, because this team has not come to celebrate. This team has come to work. To work and to work and more work. That is the value I personally bring to public office. Hard work, diligent work. In my early days in the profession, I knew no working hours. I don't believe in working hours. I believe in the outcomes, the deliverables. You will see this in this administration. And I think you will appreciate it after a few months, a few years from now. And that's why we believe we will earn your confidence going forward. Within the laws, third term is not part of our language. Not part of our language. It should not be part of anyone's language. And Zambians have spoken about it. And you, the lawyers, must deal with those lacunas. No one should seek a third term. Zambians have spoken about this from the Chona Commission in the 70s. Manakatwe Commission, Mwamba Commission. I'm talking about Constitutional Review Commissions. Why should anyone dream that they should stay in office beyond the limit that if you couldn't do certain things, certainly you will have set the institutional arrangement and the platform for others to continue to achieve what you did not achieve. That's how the relay race works. I trust that my colleagues on the left understand what that means. So thank you to President Edgar Lungu. And you will be okay, sir. Do not worry, you will be okay. We pledge to the people of Zambia that we will foster a better democracy. A better democracy, rule of law being integral to that, restoring order, respecting human rights, liberties and freedoms, choices, media. There's a new dawn for you. No one will tear gas you in the exercise of your duties. Isn't that good? Zambians should be at par with any other citizens of a democratic country around the world in the barest minimums that they should enjoy. And no leadership has a right to take away those minimums from its own population. If anything, we should expand those minimums. Watch the space. Check if we are just playing with words. Check that. I'm not talking about lawlessness here. I'm not talking about corruption, because we'll have a zero tolerance to corruption. I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about your rights, your liberties, your freedom to do what is within the laws, your freedom to aspire to be anything you wish to be. I never thought that I would sit and seek the presidency of this country. As I was born in a village, glass thatched house, went to school first 3 years, no shoes. But I got the opportunity. We want to expand these opportunities for all our children to better what HH has become, and more so in the last few days, when Zambians decide to accord us with this rare opportunity to save them. Why should that be denied to another child, male or female? Not at all. I want to invite all of you to acknowledge the path we've chosen, that we will work together with you with us, to build a better Zambia for all our people. For all our people. I would like to take this opportunity to thank my running mate. Mrs. Mutalena Lumango, all the members of the UPND Alliance, our candidates across the spectrum of this four-sum election, councillors, mayors, chairmen, members of parliament. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you for participating in this election, for winning, and those who did not win, for offering yourself for service. Not as masters, but as slaves of our people. All our members, campaign teams, well-wishers who work tirelessly on the front lines, dodging bullets, tear gas, being detained at airports, being denied the right to use airspace. But you endured, you moved on. I want to acknowledge now, I can reveal a bit of a strategic secret here. We had an army of underground volunteers. As we were facing tear gases, as we were not allowed to go to certain jurisdictions, we had an underground movement of volunteers who were working quietly. On top, you could not see them. I knew. I was seeing them every day. And when I saw them, I smiled. And I knew they were doing the damage. Look at the results. Look at the results. Thank you to you all. We would not be here today without your hard work, without your commitment to duty to the people of Zambia. We graciously acknowledge your contributions. No one did more work than the other, not me. We all did what we could, and put together is delivered. We have delivered. Thank you for your dedication to duty. I want to thank my beloved wife. Who has always been on my side. Good times, difficult times. She's been there. I want to encourage young couples, please support each other. Even girlfriend, boyfriend, please support each other. You will see the value of that later in years in your life. Respecting each other, understanding that you are equal, being husband doesn't make you superior to your wife.
Yes.
I say it without blinking, because I know what some husbands do to their wives. I also know what some wives do to their husbands of late. So, my kids, thank you to you. The rest of the family, we love you. We appreciate your enduring love to us. Great source of strength. We give thanks to God the Almighty, without whom this day would have never been possible. Amen. My fellow citizens, we have an enormous task ahead of us to revive our economy and deliver on our expectations. The journey will be tough, challenging, there will be ups and downs, but I'm certain that with hard work and commitment, we will succeed in building a better life for all our citizens. I do believe in that. Finally, let me thank you again, my masters, our masters, the people of Zambia, for the huge mandate you have bestowed upon us to serve you, and we will serve you better. I believe in that. We will not let you down. God bless you all, and God bless the Republic of Zambia. I thank you for listening. Thank you.
Take some questions.
I'm limited to the subject. The questions must be limited to the subject. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We now take questions, and the questions should be strictly limited to the subject discussed here. And remember what we agreed earlier on? One question per person, no rider questions. We'll start with 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, my name is Chukunda.
Oh, him behind you.
I think she started already. She started already. She started already.
My name is Chukunda from Zambian. So in line with the issue of freedom that you talked about, just want to find out what assurance is giving the members of the fourth estate as far as operating independently and freely is concerned, both from the private and public sector, without having to worry about losing jobs and having the institutions closed.
A related question. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A related question. What are the first things that you'll do when you enter to revive Bloomberg, sorry, Matthew Hill from Bloomberg.
Please state your name and the media organization you're coming from.
We can't hear.
My name is Stephen from Times of Zambia. I want to get your position on media freedoms and access to information.
Okay. My name is Millie Beauty Products, coming from Millie Beauty. Okay. It's a media house, sir.
It's not a media house.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, you can speak seated. I mean,
Excellency, just want congratulations for the resounding victory. We just want to find out within what period have we set that Zambians should be able to see the economic change and transformation that you've promised.
So we'll allow the President to respond, then we'll come back.
thank you very much to the questions. Shall we just underscore something here? And hopefully going forward, we will take that as the culture. Media will come from, questions will come from the media. We should not restrict the questions in terms of whether it's aggressive or abusive. I don't mind. As long as you stay within the subject, as per the Director of Ceremonies, feel free to ask the question you want to ask. The onus is on you to ask a polite question. But I'm saying so that no one should feel restricted. And that culture you will see going forward. To give you the freedom to ask the question you want. Because no question is a no-go area. Thank you. Chikundi Kaunda freedoms, media, private, public. I actually covered it in a way in my speech. That the fourth estate, and there's another question connected to that, I think number 3 question, media freedoms, access to information, freedoms, media, private, public. To us, the fourth estate is not just a medium, because you are media because you transmit, you are the platform, you are the road for information. You are not just a road for information. You are an important part of the checks and balances. You are an important ears and eyes of society. So let me cover the 2 questions in one as I answer. We believe in media freedoms. We believe in self-regulation. You heard me. Of the media. Which means that the access to information, media freedoms, regulations that are there, if not sufficient to give you the freedom and self-regulation, they will be enhanced. You've heard me. They will be enhanced. Self-regulation means you have standards. You have professional standards that will allow you to exercise your professionalism, that media houses must be fair. It must cover people equitably. Must not project hate message. It is not a platform to commit crimes, but it's an opportunity to deliver news, the content, in a manner that is professional. And you will be able to control each other through self-regulation, true self-regulation, not symbolism, when there are transgressions. Simple, straight. Here's what you want to hear from me. The UPND government is not there to gag the media. The UPND government is not there to shut down prime television. It's not there to do that. Prime, I see your sign. Sorry about what happened to you. It will not happen under our government, under our administration. You will operate as a business. You know your obligations to operate as a business. We're not there to teach you that. You know your obligations. But no political hand will be there to shut down a media house. We are victims of a media shut out on us. We will not appear on ZNBC. And welcome to this house, ZNBC. That reaction from the public underscores our answer to these 2 questions. That the media must be open to all. The media is not a tool to gag, to demonize. Earlier I talked about hate language that was driven by some of our competitors. I must say it's not just one. Others were saying it, but because they're small relatively, maybe they were not heard. And you didn't hear us respond. Did you hear me respond? No. That is not what the media should exist for. Don't drive hate language. Be fair. I know that ZNBC operated the way they operated because of political instruction. I want to say to you right away, there will be no political instruction to control your editorial policy under the UPND leadership. Be a true public broadcaster. Cover the opposition. We are confident of our work that we will not mind by using you to shut down the voices of the opposition. Finish. Wamana Mdala. Finish. Cover the UPND administration because it's part of your editorial policy. It's part of your agenda. When you cover other political parties, there will be no minister who will visit you to tell you which articles must be covered at the main news time. If you want, start from this press conference. If you don't cover us, it's okay. It's all right. Because the media now has grown, technology has grown. If you don't cover news, you will not generate revenue. You may not pay salaries, and you may shut down. You wouldn't blame us, isn't it? Would you blame us? No. If the consumers of your news shun your news, it means you can't get commercial adverts. Then you shut down. We don't want you to shut down. We want to support you. You will see a UPND government that is supportive to businesses. I have a fundamental belief myself as a business person at a young age that, and also from my culture, my upbringing, if you want to generate tax revenue, do not kill the micro business, which may be struggling to pay tax. Work with them, help them grow, give them time to pay so they can grow, and eventually you collect more tax, but at a lower rate, fair tax. Then you grow your treasury revenue. You will see that principle applied to other businesses, but media included. I think I've answered that question.
Thank you.
Let me deal with, hang on, Matthew. 4 things that will revive the economy will do. Matthew, I ask you to be patient. You will see that in our inauguration speech. You will see content in there. You will see the thrust of what we are going to do in government. But to give you a hint, we are seeking government for 2 portals, 2 legs. One is to reunite this country. We know the value of unity. 2 is to rebuild, reconstruct this economy. 2A, focusing on economy, growth, investment, opportunity, so that we can do 2B, look after the weak, the sick, the old, the orphans, the retirees, pay them on time. But you can't do 2B without 2A, which is the economy. That's what has been going wrong in this country. To focus on consumption, on luxury, and not to focus on prudence, investment expenditure, to grow the economy, to create jobs and opportunities for our people, to get our people the food. Matthew, that comes from a functioning economy with a clear economic policies, lowering the cost of doing business, Matthew, and being predictable, and therefore being consistent. What you see in the mining sector, changing policies every day, it will not happen under the UPND, because mining is a long-term business. I don't want to get too much into that, Matthew. Be patient. I think the inauguration, all things being equal, ceteris paribus, it will happen in a few days' time, and you'll hear more from us. Before you go, Male, Brian, period for economic changes. Brian, it's begun from this speech. Once we restore the rule of law, once we restore order, let me say that, it's an ingredient to economic development, bottoming up. You can't invest, no investor, including myself. Let me be candid now, use my own example. And in the last 7 years, I took a decision, asked all our boards not to invest any more money because the return was not assured, because the environment was hostile, the cost of doing business was high, and there was lawlessness. Once we restore the rule of law, you will see more investment, you will see more economic activity. We start from there. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Excellency. Okay, so we take 2 international questions, 2 local questions. Is that okay?
Yep.
So I'll take 2 from this side and 2 from this side.
Shorter questions, please.
Shorter questions.
Be succinct. That's not control. It's different from control.
Okay, Wells. Okay. Afterwards. You can.
Congratulations, Your Excellency. My name is Rose from the program TV. The victim of the George of Fine TV. And I want to say thank you very much for all the assurance that you have given us in your speech. Has said a lot of things, especially one greatest fear that most Zambians had, which was used as a weapon during the campaign, which had to do with tribalism. So a lot of people thought that we'll be left behind and we'll be able to change the way and all those things we were tackled. My interest is on what you had said before the elections with regard to the acquisition of water and inflation that we did once we will see that the inflation is going to rise. So I don't know, since now you are...
Exchange rate, not inflation. Two are different. Two are different. Inflation is different from exchange rate.
Yes, no, I didn't say exchange rate. Inflation rate.
You're getting it wrong. The president said the exchange rate will improve.
What's your
You
dollar?
are talking about the inflation rate.
Thank you for that guidance. Yes, the exchange rate will increase. So I wanted to know, now that you are the Republican president, how long will that take for us to see that particular change? Then my second question.
Let's have some order. Let's have some order, please. Okay, for my desert. Okay, yeah. No, I said one.
Just control, just be orderly.
Congratulations, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
To your technical from an administration that was heavily in debt, what is your message to the lenders?
UNDP. I'm coming down this side. I'll ask Lorenzo. And I've seen Peter. Lorenzo and Peter.
My name is Lorenzo from Radio Christian Voice. Congratulations, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
My question has to do with mining. Kindly guide us on your policy on mining. Mining companies have a habit of externalizing profits to the detriment of the Zambian economy and the population. So what would be your policy in trying to arrest that situation and boost productivity in the mining sector? Thank you.
My name is Buchizia from Money FM Radio. My question borders on part of your speech. You say that the outgoing president is very safe. And then my question is that in terms of fighting corruption, how are you assuring the Zambians that you will go back and investigate some of what the previous administration did? Because the saying is that when you're leaving office, you make sure that the people that you're taking over from, you don't hurt them, so that they don't hurt you when you actually take over.
Right, we will deal with that? Can we?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll be quick in this round. And Chifunda, appreciation of the currency. I wasn't challenging you. I was just trying to make you say what I said. What I said is that the kwacha will appreciate against the dollar, all other currencies, and that in short is exchange rate. So not inflation. Inflation is a bigger subject, is a subject of other things. Yes, there's a component of inflation effect, inflation arising from the exchange rate effect. So let's not go into that lecture because it will confuse people. So I haven't been sworn in. I was categoric because there are things going on that have delayed this message. I'm sure you know. Delays here, there. When we get sworn in, we will deliver a more substantive economic message on how we run the country. But today, we've started by addressing some of the key things. Rule of law. Rule of law. Media, respect for the media. freedoms, human rights, liberties and freedoms. So wait until we put our package of what the investment community, the trading community, local, regional and external are waiting for. The menu in there, that's the menu which we call, would clearly demonstrate the confidence that we are here to do business, investment is welcome, freedoms will be entrenched. Chibunda, no one wants to put money when you know party thugs can come and take away your property, can come and take away your piece of land illegally. Wait for that. But we've already sounded the initial dose. Just be patient a little bit. Wait for that. Chifunda, thank you very much. Debt is too high. My colleague, yes, debt is choking development. Message to lenders. Our message to lenders is very simple. Come to the table. The debt we have is unsustainable. Some of it was accrued wrongly, incompetently. But we are decent people, we're a decent team. And luckily, some of them we've engaged them already, well ahead. This is the way we operate. You get used to this. Orderliness, proper planning, execution of the plans, proactivity. We've engaged some of them already, some we know personally, and they know what we stand for, my dear friend, and they know what to expect. Today is a day I can say to the debt stockholders that you have a new administration that will take debt seriously, that will not sit and wait until it defaults without talking to you. So come to the table. We will discuss the options that are available. We will ensure that there is equity in the treatment of your debt. We will not ask you to come to the table to discuss your debt, and we do an arrangement with you that will allow us the headroom to release resources and apply those resources on the equation side of investment, revenue generation, and not consumption. I hope you are hearing me. I don't want to be technical. I used to be accused of being too technical, but this debt issue is a technical issue. So let me simplify it by saying you have an administration that will get you to the table where you will be respected, your views will be heard, our views will be should be heard by you, and we'll come to an amicable position. Number one, our intent is clear. The debt is too high. It's unsustainable. Simple, straight. So two, you come to the table. You'll be treated fairly. Three, there will be no cross-subsidization of one debt stockholder to benefit another. That's corruption. It will not happen. Equitous treatment. Number four, once we agree a deal with you to allow us breathing, oxygen to breathe as a country. Otherwise, if we die, as a cattleman, I'll tell you, if you don't feed your cow, don't expect milk the following day. The teats will be dry, and the children will have no milk. So I use that analog. So we will need the cow to continue producing milk. We will need to ensure that that milk is not eaten by the owner of the cow, because there's another stakeholder called the calf. For the calf to grow, it needs a bit of milk also, so that tomorrow it can become the cow and produce more milk. Simple as that. Simple as that. So, I think I have answered the question briefly. Christian voice policy on mining to arrest externalization of resources is not an issue. It's been an issue because there's been no leadership to understand that first and foremost, you need an attractive mining policy to get the investment. Secondly, the investment must grow Before you look for external investment, you must encourage the existing investments to grow. For existing investments to grow, there must be a return on investment. But there must be also benefits to other stakeholders. Who are they? Workers, mine suppliers, contractors, and contractors. Who else? The Treasury. That's your question. So there's a vested interest, there's a mutuality along the way. There hasn't been an administration that understands that simple rule. This administration understands it. And you see that the mines will come to the table, the mines will pay their fair tax, the mines should grow for them to pay their fair tax. We will also expect the mines to employ more citizens of Zambia. We don't expect a crane driver to be a foreigner. We expect a crane driver in the mine to be a Zambian. And you all know why. You all know why. We expect the board to have Zambians leading the boards. We expect the Zambians to be shareholders in the mining sector. This is the asset God gave us. And this asset must work for the investor, they must work for Zambians. It's a very simple idea. When you're a mine owner, we expect you to employ more Zambians. We expect you to pay taxes. We expect you to be able, otherwise you'll be a mine illegality we are through. Again, like the debt stockholders, we will engage the mine owners. Very clearly. They already know it anyway. Some have been talking for a long time. Some were surprised that there was no government that would engage them in a manner that the benefits from mining will accrue to citizens to this country and to them as well. The government has come that will be able to do that. And you see, very soon, you see mining houses announcing expansion programs. You see mining houses employing more Zambians. That's why the currency will appreciate, my friend. When they know what is coming and they know we are serious, they will come to the table for mutuality, win-win situation. You'll be happy as Zambians. But if you kill the cow, you kill the mine, whether it's owned by you or someone else, you will have no copper to take advantage of the best prices at the moment because of bad leadership. Good leadership has arrived. Buchiza, confirmation, corruption fight. Absolutely misunderstood. We have no fear that the next government will prosecute us. That's why we should not prosecute the outgoing government. No, it's not a quid pro quo, Buchiza. We have a zero tolerance to corruption, zero. But this is not a political vindictive platform. Vengeance, retribution, no. The professional bodies, the institutions that deal with that, which is, will deal with that. The policy of the UPND is zero tolerance to corruption, not to corruption. And the two must not be mixed. You can't go out under the UPND government, you're a minister, and you give yourself tenders, you award yourselves tenders. I'm sorry for colleagues who want to be ministers in this cabinet. You give yourself a tender at a high price because there's an issue of future deals. We're not there for that. But the corruption fight must be professional. That's the point I'm making. It must not be used as a weapon to victimize others who are in office, including ordinary citizens. So it will be a professional fight against corruption. One of the things we'll do is to strengthen the institutions, oversight institutions, that are operationally independent, they are funded properly, they do their investigations fairly, professionally, and the rest are processes. That's our message. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. We have come to the close.
Indeed.
We need to allow the President to rest. There will be many other forums, and you will have opportunity to ask your questions. Just hold on to them, and we'll give you an opportunity to do so. May I ask that we all be upstanding as we sing the national anthem, all the standards of the national anthem. Stand and sing of Zambia from the
Zambia, Zambia, freeing every stand under the flag of our land. Zambia, praise to thee, oh one strong and free.